Come along with me, friends, as I tell you a story of a man with a history that is rich as any legend as one could imagine. A man who has lived a full and wonderful life. A man that was born and bred in a tiny little coastal community much like this. My little lakeside community here reminds me very much of the man and the story that I'm going to tell you about. You see, there are some people that do not know who John at Willett Grow is. Bear with me as I shed some light on this man who has become legend. Mark, also known as the Arkansas Woodcutter, my brother. What have you done? You came to me telling me a story of this nobody that you found on YouTube. A tiny channel that was doing some interesting things. And now you've angered him. Let me tell you about this nobody that you found, Mark. John at Willett Grow is a man of focus, commitment, and sheer will. Something you know little about. We tasked him with an impossible job no one could pull off. The mouth that he ran that day, and the gardening skills, and the oyster fishing, has laid the foundations of Shed Wars today and the future and all that it will become. I once saw John shuck 3 dozen oysters in a bar in under 2 minutes with a pencil, an unsharpened pencil. The day has turned a more stormy note. I've taken refuge in this little gazebo here. And as I look onto the coast of this little lake, look out into the rainy weather that we've got right now, the wind and the rain coming in, even hitting me in this shelter, it reminds me of the Azores, a tiny little archipelago in the Atlantic Ocean, not too far off of the north coast of Africa, Europe, west coast. It's a much favored spot for many centuries for sailors of all kinds to stop in. A wonderful people, the property, the territory of Portugal. Lonely little outpost far from the mainland. This is where John at Willett Grow was born and raised. Coastal community on an island, tiny little islands far out in the Atlantic. The people there have more than old world values. You see, being disconnected from the mainland of any country, you're remote. You face a life, even during the good times, of, you just may not have everything that you want. Self-resiliency of the people of the Azores and the values, the morals, values, and virtues of these people are born of countless thousands of years of humanity doing the very best that they can for one another in order to survive. These old world values are the things that John at Will It Grow brought to us so many years ago when he was a young boy at the age of 10. I'll tell you a little bit more. I believe that the conditions of this current studio of mine, being outside in the dark and in a storm next to the coast with the rain coming in, is offering me a perfect way to reflect some of the hardships that go on in the world, that go in with people of the coast, people that have a spirit that craves the ocean. Now, in order to tell you the story a little better about this man that we know as John at Will It Grow, I also have to tell you the story of some other people. Another one of my favorite channels on YouTube. That channel is called Sailing La Vagabonde. I have been a subscriber of theirs for a few years. I signed on to their worldwide global journey soon after Elena had met and signed on with Riley, a young couple. They caught each other's eyes. If I remember right, it was in a bar. And Riley was on a tour of the world out there. This young man in a sailboat going around the world, making the most out of life. Elena followed him on board his ship. I watched as they went to many places. I watched as Elena bore a child, and now they have a child on board with them in their journeys wherever they go. It is a little bit of I'm trying to get to my video. It's not letting me. I think the rain is affecting. No, I'm trying to click a screenshot instead of the actual video itself. There we go. Now you see, Sailing La Vagabonde, one of my favorite channels, is actually in the Azores right now. They're doing a video series of their travel in the Azores. I have seen many things about the Azores. It's a beautiful little place. Look at this world map. The Azores, somewhere between America and right off the coast of Spain, we find the Azores, a tiny little group of islands. John grew up on one of these islands when he was a boy. His family moved to America, Cape Cod, long ways away, still a coastal community. This man is not just an oysterman, not just a gardener. This man is the one that you send to teach the oystermen and gardeners. This young man came over here from the Azores, bringing all of his old family values with him. He grew up in that harsh, self-sufficient landscape of the Azores. He came here and found a country, as his family did, rich beyond measure. I know only part of his story. I know that at one time, the man raced in NASCAR professionally, in the truck division. He raced pickup trucks in NASCAR. He's been an oysterman for a very long time on that ragged coast of Cape Cod. Now let me tell you something. Let me tell you about some of the things that he does, right? right there, right now, as winter is moving in. They work outside all day. They follow the tides. Their work goes from the gaugement of the tides, high tides and low tides, to get their jobs done. Rough seas, rough weather, no matter what the conditions, they're out there to farm and harvest oysters. So many. They travel all over the world. A lot of them are down here on the Gulf. If you go to the Gulf Coast and you get you a dozen oysters, it's most likely oysters that John and his team have grown and harvested. I find that amazing. Now, while they're out there on the water, they have to face many hazards. One of those being seals. You see, after years of seals being protected, they've come back to that part of the world where they used to be. So now Cape Cod is home to lots of seals. Now, seals, you think, well, they're cute. And in truth, they are, in a certain setting. But John and his team are in the water with them, and they are wild animals. The bull seals can get rather large, about the size of a cow. They swim like a torpedo. They swim with grace and ease and attack prey underwater. And as it turns out, wild seals don't really like humans. And when these humans, these people, get in the water to go fishing for their oysters, the seals take notice of them too and sometimes attack. Now, the seals are one thing. You get something the size of a cow with razor-sharp teeth and an incredible force in the water that doesn't like you and wants to attack, you better be on your guard and you better get out of the water. The other thing about seals is they attract other animals. One apex predator being the great white shark. So while they are also out there dealing with seals and tides and water and drowning and anything else that can go wrong, they've also got great white sharks in the area. Amazing place that harbors an amazing man, John at Will It Grow. He's a brother to me and a brother and a friend to many in the Shed Wars. We have brought Shed Wars to a close. It ended with a bang. But it was John's virtues from the old world, those morals and values that are still with him, so strong, from the people of the Azores, where you have to be good to one another. That is the main thing, where you must think of your fellow man. Brought this to a close. He helped to eliminate problems. And I'm so proud of him, my brother, John at Will It Grow. Proud of Mark. But today this is about John. From my little my little neck of the woods here. It's getting a little hard to sit down here on this little deck. Let me stand up. Oh, yeah, getting very difficult. And there's a lot of days when John comes in from the waters and he feels the same way. He gets that appetizer of aspirin at the end of the day before his meals. He's a hard-working man. I have known him in many conversations to speak about how much he loves his work. He puts on his work boots and gets out there in this weather with a smile on his face, knowing that he is in the face of God and nature itself, and that they bless his every move. John, Will It Grow? your much loved and honored brother in the Shed Wars. I am proud to serve beside you. I'm proud to know you. My life is made richer knowing you. I thank you. I would encourage everyone to go and check out the Azores, the people that this man comes from. I'll leave a link to the channel that I mentioned before, Sailing La Vagabonde. Wonderful channel. A beautiful young couple from Australia on a trip around the world. And they just happen to be right now at a place where my brother is from. I thank you all for watching on this rainy night on this little coastal area of a lake in my neck of the woods. Thank you very much. You'll find a link for John at Will It Grow as well. Thank you very much for watching. Hello, John. This is Robert, Homestead Aquarius. John, I know that the first season of Shed Wars has offered you many problems. I know that the name calling and the trash talking that Wilson and I have done throughout the season has angered you. I know you've been hurt. I know that the closing of the first season of Shed Wars was a little bit of a bumpy ride for you. John, let's not fall down to our baser instincts. John, let us handle the upcoming season of Shed Wars like civilized men.
Robert, what did he say? What did John say?
He said enough.